It's Monday, December 15th. Welcome to Scouting the League. And this week we jump in heavy on the All-Star games. It's not All-Star game time yet, but we hit both All-Star games, East-West and Senior Bowl. Eric Galko and Drew Fabianich join us tomorrow and Wednesday to talk All-Star games. But today we hit on all All-Star games and the huge opportunity that they are, and sometimes the unnecessary element of the pre-draft process that they can become. Not 100% guaranteed that an all-star game is going to work to your advantage or that it is necessary, but I talked through all of that here today on Scouting the League. But before we jump in, make sure you like, subscribe, share this podcast wherever you are listening and watching, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or that video portion over on YouTube. Hit those buttons. Most importantly, share this one with a friend. If you love football, probably somebody else in your life that loves football as well, so make sure they check this one out. Interact with us. Leave us comments, leave us thoughts, leave us notes wherever you are at. I am Rodrik David at Right Step ADV is where you can find me. 6 years with the Atlanta Falcons, 1 year with the Tennessee Titans. I've been to just about every All-Star game at some point, even a couple of them as a consultant when I've been done with football. And again, every All-Star game is not created equal and is going to give you different opportunities, different things to think about as players, as agents, as schools. So we'll talk about some of those today. But again, make sure you head over, check me out on my website, rsafootball.com, for my full background, to get in touch. You have something you want to talk to coming out of today, hit me up on Twitter or head over to that website, rsafootball.com. We will help you take the next right step, because that's what I do, right step advising, helping you make the right decisions on the football field and off the football field. While you're there, if you're a scout or aspiring scout, make sure you check out thescoutingcommunity.com. Again, a spot for exclusive only to NFL scouts or exclusive to those that want to be NFL scouts. Again, I will help connect you, answer the questions that I can, get you lined up to pursue your future in NFL scouting. And if you're a scout in the NFL, again, maybe there's a spot your team is not quite meeting the mark, maybe falling short, maybe you need some guidance, a second opinion that you're not comfortable asking about yourself, well, hit me up. Again, could keep you completely anonymous, protect you, but help you get some answers that you need to make sure you have all your bases covered. All of that is over at thescoutingcommunity.com. Check it out. Ask me questions. Hit me up. As always, happy to answer whatever I can. And make sure you check out our partner over at blumaka.com, BLUMAKA.com. Use code SCOUTING20 at checkout to make sure they know that we sent you from this podcast here on Scouting the League. Get those non-slip insoles that will improve performance as soon as you slide them into your shoes. Agents, this should be a part of every package as you're sending guys to training. Again, improve that performance. If you can be 1% better in every department, you would certainly take that. These shoes are going, or the insoles into the shoes are going to do exactly that. Give these Blue Maka insoles, again, non-slip, whether it's that comfort and recovery, whether it's that rest and recovery, or that turf toe insole that's going to help deal with some of those turf toes that are always popping up. Make sure you get them over at blumaka.com. Like I said, Scouting20, let them know we sent you and get that discount as well. So, All-Star game this week. Again, we get to talk to Eric Galko tomorrow. We talk all things East-West game, again, some new agreements, new partnerships, invites continuing to be accepted. And then on Wednesday, we get to talk to new executive director Drew Fabianich about how everything is going in his first year at the reins of that Panini Senior Bowl. Again, invites rolling in on that one, including 3 quarterbacks so far. Going to be really fun conversations with both of those guys, so really excited about it. Make sure you check them out, set your reminders for both of those. But today, we're going to answer maybe some bigger picture questions. All-star games. Is it necessary? Should I be sending my guys as a player? Should I be going to an all-star game? Again, the first two, East, West, and Senior Bowl, these are pretty easy yeses. If you get an invite, yes, accept the invites. Again, whether you want to accept an East-West invite or a Senior Bowl invite, that's really up to you. Again, either game is going to give you a tremendous opportunity to go showcase your talents and what you want to do in front of NFL teams. I don't think there is a bad all-star game between these two. Whatever you want to accept it. Again, I'm not going to put a 1 and a 2. Again, we know we're not going to hide it. The Senior Bowl has been top dog for a good while now. Again, Drew is doing everything he can to make sure that is still the case. The Panini Senior Bowl as a number one game. But again, everything that Eric is doing over the East-West game is certainly closing that gap. Again, the backing, the partnerships they have. Again, East-West certainly closing that gap. Again, if you want to go to the East-West over the Senior Bowl, again, do it. Absolutely. Go to one of these two All-Star games. There's almost no reason to say no to either game. Most scouts have the philosophy that these games, any All-Star game, much less just these two, they're not going to hurt you. They should not hurt your grade. They should only help you through the process. More opportunities to get in front of scouts, to be on the field with NFL talent, to be in front of 32 teams, plus, again, your Canadian Football League teams, probably your UFL teams. Again, any scout that can get down there, or consultants like myself are going to get down there, check everything out. It is an opportunity to showcase all that you can do at the highest level. Again, I think about on the field, again, plenty of stories about guys balling out, really showing that they can do things that kind of solidifies what they can do, or maybe showcases something that they can do at a new position. But again, the off-field stuff, the interview stuff is really one of those spots where I always think about the opportunity players have. And again, one of my favorite stories that I always tell about Ben Skoranek, a wide receiver at Notre Dame. Again, I had done a report on Ben as a Midwest scout while he was at Northwestern. Again, little bit limited, kind of a day three guy. You like him, you get to know him. Again, transferred to Notre Dame, has a good year there, gets the opportunity to go down to the Senior Bowl. Well, again, gets hurt in practice. I think maybe the second day of practice, which happened to be interview day for him. I'm sitting down there at the table. He was a guy that I viewed as, hey, maybe we can take this 215-pound kind of wide receiver, get him up to about 230, maybe it'd be a tight end F, and we sit down, we start talking. You can tell he's in pain. He's kind of got a foot injury. And again, you start talking to him. Well, again, comes out that he has a broken bone in his foot that he didn't want to tell anybody about. Okay, all right, love the toughness already. Well, in practice, he happened to also come down on his face because he couldn't plant and drive off that foot. So again, now you're dealing with a concussion. He's got a gash across the top of his nose. You can tell he's probably about 3/4 of the way there. Again, he didn't last very long in interviews before they took him out of there, got him checked out for a concussion and everything. But again, as that interview process went, you could feel how much this guy loved football, that he just wanted to be out there. I don't want to talk about my foot injury. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want to be pulled out of practice. He knew that would be the end of his Senior Bowl week. So again, I'm just not going to tell anybody about it. Smart, not smart. Again, as a scout, you absolutely love that mentality. The question I asked him, again, as he was getting pulled away by Senior Bowl staff, he said, hey, Ben, what if we want to make you 230 pounds and come be a tight end for us? Some expletives were dropped, but the answer was a resounding yes. Again, that's the kind of interview interaction you want. Again, you get through draft meetings, you're sitting there in April, you're trying to still clean up the back of the board. A 6th, 7th round grade on Ben, his name comes up. It's like, hey, what does Ben bring to the table? Is he going to be a 5th wide receiver? Hey, let's go ahead and move him down to our UDFA board. I'm like, no, draft this player. This is where scouts have the stories, have the insight, have the conviction. Big no, draft Ben Skoranek. He makes our roster better. Again, forget 5th wide receiver. He will be our best special teams player. He is going to line up at fullback if you ask him to. If you need somebody in a pinch here, there, or the other, Ben is that guy. He is the kind of guy you fight for in the late rounds of the draft, regardless of what his athletic profile tells you, regardless of what his character tells you. Again, this is a player you fight for. You do not allow this player to get pushed down to your UDFA board. Maybe he ends up there anyway for you. Maybe he's a player that, again, the GM decides in his own mind he's not going to draft, but I was not going to let Ben drop off our draft board. Of course, the Rams end up drafting him. I believe he wins a Super Bowl there, ends up in Houston, and now Pittsburgh, where he's continuing to do everything that I expected him to do. Again, do everything, guy. Line up everywhere. Be a Swiss Army knife. Be your special teams player. And then when the time comes, again, playing good football when asked to do it. And again, those are the kinds of all-star game interactions that consistently happen, especially at these two big games. Again, on the other side, again, there's always players that hurt themselves or give themselves more questions to answer in terms of, hey, this guy is the dud. the low talker, the guy that can't talk about a situation. Plenty of situations where, hey, on the field, again, he looked good, but man, we just have all these questions. He's not helping himself out with any of these answers, but gives him the chance. And with the right interview prep, which again, give me a call, will help with that interview prep. With the right interview prep, these guys can help themselves out at All-Star games. Again, East-West Senior Bowl, 2 premier games to go help yourselves out. After that, not always a firm yes for these All-Star games. Again, I have advised guys, hey, I don't think there's a reason that you need to go to an All-Star game. And we'll talk about those reasons why. Again, you're talking about American Bowl, Hula Bowl. Again, that's kind of the next tier of games. And again, we'll talk about those two. We've had our guys on, Scott Phillips, Todd Worley, on with us on this podcast, talking these All-Star games. Of course, the Hula Bowl, there's some questions surrounding maybe the ownership group, what's going on behind the scenes, some of that kind of stuff. But again, the Hula Bowl has a tradition. It's got a tradition going way back with some really big name players. Again, a paid game, both these games, paid games, going to get you down there, going to get you suited up. Again, that is hard to say no to for a lot of players, a lot of agents. Going to a paid game certainly matters. But again, with both of these games, I have advised big school, SEC, Big 10, Big 12 players, hey, I don't know if it helps you. If you want to go, by all means go. But again, I don't think you have to go. Players that have had questions, hey, I don't know if I want to go to this All-Star game. Maybe I'd rather have another week to train. Maybe I'd have another week to do this or that or focus on this. And hey, I don't think turning down an invite to the American Bowl or Hula Bowl for some of these Power 4 conference players is necessarily going to hurt you or be a question mark. It's certainly going to be understood by NFL scouts across the NFL where, hey, they didn't want to go to Hula Bowl. Again, no skin. We'll see them at the pro day, maybe even the combine for some of these guys. So good. American Bowl, Hula Bowl, certainly good games, especially when you start getting to group of 5 and down lower. Those are the guys where, hey, this is the opportunity. Maybe you got 20 to 25 scouts through you for an in-person visit. You're probably going to get the rest of those teams down at one of these All-Star games. You're probably going to see the highest consistent level of competition during this week that you saw. Maybe you saw a Power 4 team, couple Power 4 teams, but again, you're going to see a higher level of player lined up across from you for the course of the whole week, which is why, on the flip side, Power 4 guys, maybe not the best case, because again, if you're playing in a big conference, you're probably going to see and have plenty of that film where the questions aren't going to be quite the same. Yeah, you want to go compete, do all that kind of stuff, but again, I've already talked about that. So if you are a G5 or lower player, again, these two games are going to be absolute yeses for you, but there may still be reasons you want to say no. Injuries, timing, season schedule, all that kind of stuff. All of it factors in. Again, hit me up, rsafootball.com, if you have questions, want to talk about individual situations. These two games, still the opportunity to go out there, go down, do your thing. So again, certainly can be good opportunities. After these two games, the CGS College Gridiron Showcase, who I am a huge fan of this game. I think everybody knows that, has listened to this podcast, knows that. Again, our friends Jose, Mike Riddleman have always been on here. Craig is awesome with what he does. Again, great opportunity. And yes, 100% NFL certified. Again, going to be 32 NFL teams plus CFL plus UFL. Again, great opportunity. And this is the spot where, again, you can really answer some questions and make sure you're on the radar. This week, I was actually advising a young man who there were eligibility questions. There were JUCO questions. There's all these questions on this player's background. Didn't go through the measurement process for his group of 5 school this spring. And the chance to get verified now comes for him at the CGS. If he can get the invite, if he can get up there, which I think the play on the field absolutely gives him the chance to get there, get the verified measurements. That's one of the things that if a player, especially small school, group of 5 school, FCS, lower than that, has a chance to get verified measurements, verifieds will happen at the College Gridiron Showcase. That is a huge box to check in the pre-draft process, getting verified measurements, height, weight, arm length, wingspan. Again, all those things, get a body type in front of scouts that allow them to see you. Again, some of those guys I remember at CGSs I have been at, a guy walks up there and it's like, man, this guy's going, this guy looks like an NFL player. This guy looks like he should be having a grade in the system. All of a sudden, you put a little asterisk, you put a little heart by that guy, and hey, we're going to follow back up on him, make sure we do something, make sure I see him on the field, make sure I sit down and interview him. But again, the verifieds all of a sudden get a guy on a board, start pushing him up. And that is one of the first challenges. Again, for players that transferred, maybe didn't get to the school in time to get verifieds, maybe they had questions about eligibility. As I said, a chance to get those verifieds is huge. Also, a chance to get in front of better competition across from you. Again, always the chance to show that, hey, yes, I was standout at Division 2, standout at Division 3. I looked really good. Maybe the height, weight, and projected speed makes sense, but let's see it across from quality competition alongside players from across the country who are going to get a shot in the NFL. This is another great opportunity to do that. Get on the field with players who have been in the NFL, that need to be in the NFL, that have played alongside other NFL guys. Great opportunity to do that. And of course, again, the CGS, very biased toward their interview process. I think they do an outstanding job. Again, multiple years that I had my guys lined up coming out of the CGS based on those interviews. These are the guys I want to sign with my priority position, my cross-check position, whatever it may be. Guys that I told other scouts on my staff about, hey, love this kid. Like, you need to get with this kid, talk with him. Whether they end up liking him as much as I did, again, it gave those guys an opportunity to be in front of NFL scouts, do their thing, and really show up in that way. And then the last game that we'll talk about, because it sounds like the Tropical Bowl, which would kind of be in the same vein, it sounds like that one's not going to happen. Can't verify, can't say for sure. Tropical Bowl, again, that's a tough one. We're not going to talk about it today because it does not sound like it's happening. Again, if you've heard otherwise, if you know it is happening, let me know. Hit me up, over on Twitter. We'll make sure we get that back out there. But again, the HBCU Legacy Bowl is another one, another opportunity. It's gotten some good traction the last few years, the last handful of years. Again, like the CGS, going to get a chance to get some verified. You're probably going to get some NFL scouts there. From what I have heard the last couple of years, a lot of scouting assistants, a lot of developing scouts from the area, which is still NFL scouts. Scouts are going to see, you're going to get those verifieds. Again, of course, a smaller pool of players to pull from. Maybe not the same comparisons on the field from across the country that you get at something like the CGS, but the HBCU Legacy Bowl, certainly a good opportunity for players as well, and may be the right opportunity for players, your players, agents across the country to get on the field. So these are the games. These are my thoughts. These are feelings from NFL scouts. If you have an all-star game, a specific all-star game question, hit me up. Happy to advise. Happy to see what might be right for you. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, at RightStepADV. If you want to just head to my website, rsafootball.com is where you can send me any questions, or if you have my number, hit me a text, hit me a phone call. Happy to talk about it. Tomorrow, it's all about the East-West with Eric Galco. Wednesday, Panini Senior Bowl with Drew Fabianich, bringing you all the football, the scouting, the behind-the-curtain information you can't get anywhere else here on Scouting the League. So no matter where you are at and what you are doing, make sure you keep scouting.